Hi, everyone. Um, so today is Tuesday, March 23rd. This Talk to Me Tuesday, I have a really heavy topic that's on my heart that I want to talk to you guys about. I don't have a script. I haven't really planned out what I'm going to say, so this is kind of off the cuff. Like a real conversation, only you're not there to give me feedback and talk back. So I hope you do in the comments. But so this week has been tremendously hard and triggering. And I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone because not only is it terrifying, the loss of life, but I know I'm not alone because the statistics are staggering. The number of women who have suffered from domestic violence or been the recipients of acts of violence from men. So this is nothing new. For the men that are listening, ask any one of your female friends, loved ones, colleagues, ask any one of them if they have ever been a victim of violence perpetrated by a man. And you'd be hard pressed to find one that hasn't. And yet, when I bring this subject up and I talk to men, immediately they become defensive, and the reaction is, well, not all men. Don't lump me in with that. I've never hurt a woman. But the reality is that even if you haven't directly perpetrated violence against a woman, you are indirectly involved because you are not stopping it. There is only so much that women can do as the victims. We are told to, we are victim shamed and blamed. We are told that, we shouldn't have been there wherever we were. We shouldn't have been dressed the way we were. We should have been traveling in a group. It's always our responsibility. And guess what? I'm not buying it anymore. Not at all. This is not our responsibility. We are responsible for raising men to be what we hope them to be. But this is a societal issue, and this is a man's issue. This is men. We need you to step up and stop allowing this to continue. If you hear men with their locker room talk, the horror of having, I'm just going to back up here. The minute it started to click for me was the minute that we allowed a president of the United States to be voted in who was recorded talking about sexually assaulting women. And that was okay. By our societal standards, that was okay. I'm not having it anymore. Anyone who has lived in an abusive situation, or anyone who has been attacked, whether it be sexual assault or just an act of violence, it's incredibly triggering when the men around us are not stepping up to take responsibility. You are a part of it. You're hearing the conversations that objectify women, that laugh at women, that belittle them, that are abusive in their language. And once that is allowed, the minute you allow that and you don't stop it, those roots continue to grow deeper and deeper. And those acts of violence build on each other. So I don't know what more I can do. My news feed this week, literally, so the big news, obviously, the attacks in Georgia, where 8 lives were lost, where Asian women were targeted because a 21-year-old young man, white man, couldn't control his sexual urges and he had a bad day and took it out on these women. I've had a lot of really, really bad days. I've never violently assaulted someone, let alone take lives. It's not an excuse. My newsfeed obviously has been filled with the story from Colorado in the past 24 hours. In the grocery store, and this another 21-year-old male who we don't know the reasons yet, but decided to take lives. I don't understand why this is continuing. I know some will make it a gun issue, and yes, we need to have better restrictions on guns, but that is not the root of the problem. The root of the problem is men perpetrating violence against society. I don't know what more I can do to get that message home. My newsfeed also had a story of a man who was just arrested in New Jersey who killed his wife and has admitted to killing several other people. It also had another story of a man who murdered his, I don't know if it was girlfriend or wife, in front of their 1-year-old child in a car. Come on. This is quite clearly a pattern of male behavior. And until we start saying that all men are responsible for this, it's going to continue. So I also want to share with you that I found out that a quiet suburban town that I was living in at the time of me living in abuse has also reported that their number one issue in the town is domestic violence, and that they get calls all the time for domestic violence. And yet everyone in this town has this picture perfect life that they paint for the public. And it's time to break that down. Women, we need you to come forward, and we need you to say that I'm living in a dangerous situation, and we need to believe women. So someday I will share my story with all of you in full. Today is not that day because I am in a state of being triggered right now with all that's happening. And I don't think it'll be a well thought out conversation. So I'll save that for another day. But I get the danger of speaking up, and I get being blamed and shamed and feeling that you are somehow responsible for this. And I understand the need to appear that you have the perfect life. I get it. But on the other hand, I learned that as soon as a light is shined on the situation, it can't continue. And there are resources out there. So we need to start talking about it, and we need to start helping those that tell us that they are living in a situation like that. So I guess that's pretty much all I have to put out there today. It's a tough day, and I know I'm not alone in that. I know that I know there are a lot of you out there that are feeling this. It's heavy. It's really heavy. And for the men listening, I hope you're starting to pay attention. I hope you're starting to take responsibility for some of this, and starting to move that into action steps. I promise you that women that you care about deeply are suffering in the same way, and that they have all been victims of some sort of violence and abuse perpetrated by a man. So have those conversations, learn more, keep your ears and heart open when having those conversations. Please don't get defensive. We are not saying that you directly have harmed women, but absolutely, listen up, you have indirectly caused harm to women. And if you don't like the way that sounds, it's time to start doing something about it.